once again, people. Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're watching us from in the world. It's Michael and Sharice again. Welcome to our YouTube channel, The Akinle Way. We missed you guys. I've missed you guys. I've not missed you guys, but I don't want you guys to unsubscribe, so I do miss you guys. Yeah, okay. We released our first YouTube video together a couple of weeks ago, which was really fun. We got a lot of good feedback, and we were really encouraged to continue doing this. If you guys don't know what the Akinle Way is, it's basically Sharice describes it as a concept, and she says it like this: well, I'm going to be taking his last name, and you tell them what the Akinle Way is. You're much better at describing this.
Okay, it's the channel all about personal branding and finance. So if that's what you're into, you're in the right place.
Well, yeah, that's a nice summary. We're staying true to what we said we would deliver, right? As I said in the last YouTube channel that me and Sharice made. Last YouTube video that me and Sharice made. We want to help you. We want to challenge you. We want to challenge the way you think. We want to challenge your perception of yourself. We want to challenge your perception of the world around you. Let me just describe it the way I described it in the last video. You are here. We want to get you to here, right?
Right.
Good. So, I think the foundation to everything that we have both achieved, all our success, and where we are today, engaged, beautiful house, happy life, with challenges, but generally good, is something called
personal branding.
Say that again.
Personal brand.
There we go. If you see me continue looking down, it's because I'm looking at my phone because I just can't memorize all this stuff, right? So what is personal brand? Sharice, do you want to tell them what personal brand is, or do you want me to tell them what personal brand is? All right, I would even encourage you to go type in on Google, type in what is personal brand. But my description of personal brand is a very simple one. It is what people say about you when you're not in the room. Repeat that.
What people say and think about you when you're not in the room.
That's right. Over the last 4 years, I have learned to develop this and master it and use it to my advantage. Now, why is it so important in every human interaction? Why is personal branding important, Sharice?
Because it just said every human interaction you're gonna need to, like, who are you at the core of like what everything you're doing. Example, what do you stand for, should I say, and where do you want to go? Like, what's your mission? What are you? What's your purpose? What are you bringing to the world? And that's all part of who you are. The brand called you.
Now, the really cool thing about personal brand, right, is your personal brand actually speaks for you in an interview, after an interview, when you've left, inside an interview.
First impressions
matter.
You're walking in with your brand.
Yeah, of course. Though, saying that, the decision whether to hire you or not is not with you there. So, when the hiring manager or the person leaves, when you leave the interview with the hiring manager, or you leave the interview with a director or whatever interviews you, they talk about you. Yes, behind your back. And many of you have a problem with that. You shouldn't. Because when people are talking about you behind your back, your personal brand determines whether what they say good things or they say what? Bad things. Unfortunately. When you leave a first date, what do you think that girl does? She talks to her friends. Oh, I just went on this date. Her friends probably know already she's going on a date. And then it's a big fat review at the end. Ooh, what was he like? Do you like him? Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, that is basically why your personal brand is so very much important. And we are here to help you to develop your personal brand and understand the key things that you need to be doing to develop your personal brand. So,
to make it strong, to make it so that you are confident that wherever you are, whatever situation you're in, you are good. Like, you as a brand is powerful, is purposeful, is speaking on your behalf in a good way, and you leave like a legacy basically when you're gone.
So let's get straight into it. How do you develop your personal brand? How you speak, how you dress, how you even walk, how you work.
I was gonna say talk.
Oh, how you talk? I said how you speak.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. She's not even listening to the YouTube video. Even the vocabulary you use when you're talking, the ideas you bring to the table when you're in a group, the influence that you have, and just the decisions you make in general define what your personal brand is. So if you're someone that likes to talk in slang, what bruv? Yeah, man. Like, I don't even know what slang do people use nowadays. I don't even know. You're defining your personal brand. Just know that. If you're someone that likes to, you dress in a way that people wouldn't take you seriously. Like, by the way, don't get it confused. When people look at you and already define the kind of person that you are, when they see you, because of the way you dress, they're not judging you. It's what your personal brand is telling them.
Yeah.
This is my personal brand. This is what I represent. But a lot of you like to take it as, oh, she's judging me. He's judging me.
Only God can
Only just can judge me. No, it's your personal brand. That's what your personal brand is saying. The way you dress defines. I'm not saying you need to wear suits to bed, right? But your personal brand and the way you dress defines the way that people will see you, the way that you speak. If you come across in a very articulate way, if you come across in a very confident way, people tend to trust you more.
If you're really animated like me, people will think you're weird. And that's sometimes okay, It makes me me.
Yeah, of course. And of course, even the words that you use, how you frame your sentences, people define how intelligent you are. So, it's not to do with, where you come from, your background. It's just that's the personal brand that you want people to understand, right? This is the personal brand that you are telling the world. This is who I am. So that's why it's so important to build this thing called personal brand. I'm going to tell you guys a little story, right? So when I was in my last job, right, I was promoted 3 times in the space of a month and a half, 2 months. You remember? So she remembers because she was obviously part of my life at that time. And I would say, and in that process, I remember I had to write a business case for more pay, right, a pay rise, to my director. I remember that. And I had to do so many other things. But in the lead up to those 3 promotions, I was building up my personal brand in terms of my work ethic. I was building up my personal brand in terms of the value that I brought to my company, making sure that things like I wasn't late.
Okay.
Like some of you come late
all
to
right.
work. I don't get that. Like in a group discussion, always contributing in a very valuable way.
Yeah.
Value, always adding value. Always doing more than is required from you. So very, very early on into my time in my last company, I was presenting myself as someone that could be a leader. So when they were looking for someone to go into management, I was the first person that came to mind. I wasn't really competing against anyone else, really, because I had actually shown those qualities of being a leader. So it was very, very, it was a no-brainer for them, right? But my point is, I was building my personal brand as I go. I managed to build my personal brand to a point whereby, I went into management. And what's even more is when I left my company, I built my personal brand to such a point I didn't even apply for a job.
Did you hear that?
I didn't apply for a job. So now,
why did you not apply for a job? What does that mean? Like, who does that?
Yeah, I know, it's a bit unheard of. So my current job I'm in now, I didn't apply for it. There was actually no job. There was no my position now. There was no vacancy for it. There was no job description for it. I went and wrote my own job description, and I presented it to the managing director of Europe, and I now have. And then they created that vacancy, but they didn't create the vacancy. They created it for me. I wrote that job description.
Tailored for.
It was for me.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was my interview, my vice president and VP of growth actually said, Michael, this job description you've written, everything that you're going to be doing in this role is actually tailored to you. When you build your personal brand, and I know it's really, really cool, right? I know loads of you are like, oh my God. Michael, teach me how you create your own job out of nothing. Don't worry, that's a whole different YouTube video, right? I'm going to do a whole thing around that. But when you get to a point whereby you can create your own job, and actually you can ask for the salary that you want. I'm on 6 figures. I'm not going to tell you the exact amount, but you can demand things like that. Do you get what I mean? And that's why it's so important. Some of you that have your own businesses, this is so important. I'm about to get real serious down here. The way you interact with your potential customers and existing customers determine whether your business is going to be successful or not. This point blank. Those of you that are selling things, right? If you get orders out late, if you don't reply on time, if your customers have problems and you don't solve them on time, you give nonsense answers, what are the examples? There's just, I've had experiences, you know? I've had experiences. Go on, you're the business.
All right, if you don't have like any sort of logo or online presence that sells what you're doing in the right way, if you don't have any sort of good word of mouth about what you're doing, like say like, okay, you don't have any customer reviews or anything, and you just kind of see it as, oh, it's just my side hustle, it's not really my thing, it's not my main, so you don't really put much effort into it, that doesn't come across. That's why it's still the side, you know, that's why it's not growing to become your main income, your main thing. You probably want to deep down, but it's never gonna happen because you're not really treating it as such, and that comes across in everything, as Michael was saying, from you making the product, it's not very great, and then from you distributing it, you're being late, or you're not doing it with care and with love. Like we know that you do actually love and care your business when you start it, but like it's not coming across because you're not investing in personal branding.
It's so important, guys, like especially those of you that want your side hustle to become your main hustle. Every interaction you have with suppliers, distributors, customers, it's building who you are, and they know the person behind the business. So what you're telling them about your business is you. If you get things out to your customers late, I will say you're a late person.
It's true, because people don't do business with like, oh, for the products and stuff. People do business with
people.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you one thing, like growing up in the corporate world, I work in sales, right? There's a really prominent saying. They say people buy from people. People buy from people. And in everything in life, people are always having human transactions all the time, whether it's between a male or female, whether you guy that, you know, you really want to impress this girl, you know, but you're just the way that you are, you don't keep your word, you're late with things, you know, you say things and you don't deliver on them. It's your personal brand, and you're either building it or you're either destroying it, right? Whatever your walk of life is. Whatever you're trying to do.
It's so important, because people think, oh, I don't have a business. Okay, not that you're nobody, but like you don't have anything. But that's not the way to see yourself. Like you need to see yourself as something, as someone, as something that you have to give to the world, give value to the world, something that people will you serve people in a great way, impact so many people's lives. But that starts with you and how you see yourself. One thing
we've not really touched on a lot, is people actually decide to invest in you based on your personal brand. So, you know, if you are someone that you're starting a business and you want to get funding, it's probably obvious. Most of you that go for jobs and you go to interviews, right? You don't get hired, especially those of you that are going for, like, you know, roles that are going to be paying you quite a bit of money that you're not so much used to. You're actually not hired because you're good. You're hired because someone has decided to invest in you. When I hire, that's what I hire for, right? That's what I hire for. Because if I hire based on, you know, track record, there's always going to be someone with a better track record. But when I hire, I am hiring based on what's the potential of this person, what's the value that this person is going to bring. I have to ask myself the question, do I want to invest in this person?
Do you?
Right? And that's what your personal brand does. So from the way that the person comes across in their CV, if I read their CV, there's spelling mistakes, there's grammar mistakes, it's unstructured properly, I'm already thinking, question mark. Question mark. You know, when I meet them for the very first time, the way they come across, the way they greet me, you know, when I sit down with them, how much do they know about me? How much do they know about the company? It's a question mark.
Yeah.
You're building your personal brand because you're showing me, you know what, I want this. I've done the work. So when I hire you, you're going to be very meticulous about the way that you treat your role. Guys, like everything you do defines your personal brand. I can't even, you know, put it into words. It's so
important.
Especially for if we're going into a new job and, you know, someone's going to invest in you, or you have a brand, or you have a business that you want someone to invest in. Even when a lot of you that have businesses, or a lot of you that want to share stuff, even when you're asking other people to share your stuff, based on who you are and based on your personal brand and based on you as a person, is what someone's going to decide to share your stuff or not. If you're someone that comes across as unserious, if you're someone that comes across as, oh, this person starts things but doesn't finish, then people are unlikely to share your stuff. You get what I mean?
Really back someone that doesn't deliver on what they say they're gonna do.
And that's the real world, guys. I'll be very, very honest with you. Like, that is the real. I don't know what bubble we are all in. Everyone's in their own bubble. But the real world is, at this moment in time,
especially now amid this crisis,
Yeah.
how do you rise up? How do you stand out? How do you
Yes.
pick yourself back up?
yes,
Like, when people are getting let go, what's going to determine that they're going to not decide to make you leave the company, or to decide to hire you when nobody's getting jobs at this moment in time?
yeah,
What do you do?
and that's the thing, right? So we're currently in the midst of COVID, and you're probably thinking, you know, I'm in a job right now. How do I stand out more? So a question, I'll be very honest with you guys, a question I've been asking myself, and some of my colleagues have been asking ourselves, is how do we become indispensable to our company? What does indispensable mean? In layman's terms, it means how do you become so good at what you do and so valuable that they do not want to let you go? I became indispensable to my last company, so much more they paid me out. I was leaving and they paid me. They paid me a lot. You get what I mean? So how you need to ask yourself, how do you make yourself indispensable to people that work for you, people that work with you? Like, those of you that work with people, or you hire people to work for you, how do you make yourself so valuable that they want to always be around you
and learn from you, and you're a good leader, and they always deliver. They always feel like they're a valuable part of the company, and they're always gonna like deliver and bring more
company or
revenue
project?
to your,
Exactly.
yeah.
If you're someone that's disorganized, if you're someone that doesn't communicate very, very well,
You can fix all of these things as well.
now that we're telling you.
All of these things, like,
I wouldn't want to. Would you want to work with someone that's disorganized? Would you want to work with someone that doesn't communicate very well? Would you want someone to work with someone that, you know, maybe even has an amazing project, has an amazing vision, but doesn't know how to execute it well, or doesn't even know how to work with people well? No. So like, we're teaching you guys all these things because so that you can go away from this video and actually think, oh, what is my personal brand? What do people say about me when I'm not in the room? So I wrote down on my phone, I said, your personal brand is the difference between those who are crushing it in the world and those who are not. Your personal brand is between when a CEO is deciding who we keep or who we let go.
a customer decides, should I make this purchase
Or should I not?
No.
So it defines you. A woman decides to marry you or not to marry you. Right? Everything, guys, is based on your personal brand. Of course, there are other elements in some of those decisions, right?
Yeah.
That are also important. Like, you know, like my fiance's spiritual life. It was very important when I was considering whether to be in her or not. But that might not be so important in the interaction or the relationship between you and your boss. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's little different things that we all need to consider. But think about your personal brand. What is it? Yes, I'm talking to you. What is your personal brand?
And to help you,
Yes.
we've actually created a really quick infographic, the 7 basics of personal branding you must know. If you want to, you know, always be checking back and see, okay, and there's going to be a lot of questions in it that you can help you define your personal brand, and I'd really encourage you to download that, download the infographic. It's going to be in the description box below.
Yeah, great. We want you guys to get more of this. You know, we're going to be touching on so much more than personal branding. We're going to dig a little bit deeper. You know, I'm going to help you guys understand how to ace things like interviews, you know, how to prepare, how to ace them. Some of you don't need that advice. Some of you do. They help you guys understand where you need to be to buy a property. You get what I mean? So like, there's so much I'm going to bring to you guys, so much I'm going to teach you guys, but this video is actually, I'm laying the foundation, right? So our YouTube channel, you're going to see, it's not going to be random stuff. It's random stuff all over the place. Personal branding is the foundation of everything that we're going to teach you guys. Everything that we're going to talk about is the foundation, absolute foundation. So by the time that we release our next video, I want you guys to already have the answers to some of these questions. What is my personal brand? What will people say about me when I'm not in the room? If I'm a business owner, what do my customers say about me? What are the reviews they give about me? What do they say about me to their friends? You know, if I'm in a relationship, when my partner's talking about me to their family, to their friends, what are they saying about me? If I'm working, you know, when I've asked my boss for a promotion, what is he saying about me to his boss? Because that's how it works. You know, so you need to be asking yourself this question: what are people saying about me when I'm not in the room? It's going to define your life. Believe me. So yeah, click the
help
link.
you.
It's going to it's going to
Really help
define your life. It's going to define how much you earn. It's going to define just generally who you're going to be in 5-10 years time. So guys, that's it. We want to wrap it up right there. We don't want to talk too much. I want you guys to give your feedback, comment on this video, let me know what you think. You know, if you disagree, if you agree, comment. We want to hear what you guys think. Please share this video to your friends. A friend of yours is going to need this, you know, like don't be selfish, share, you know.
Tells YouTube that you actually like this content as well.
Yeah.
So that we can be seen to more people.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, it's been a pleasure from Michael and Sharice, or MC as we like to say, right? Yeah. Make sure you, I don't know, subscribe. Instagram, check out our Instagram.
Yeah.
There's loads of posts we're posting up there, but then we're not just posting pictures, guys. Read the caption. It's meant to be inspirational. As I said, we're not doing this for the sake of personal benefit. We want to help you guys. Yeah, we just want to help you guys in the meantime, and the best way we can reach as many people as possible is video and YouTube. Bye guys, it's been good. Ciao.